That's a good plan.
Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. We're so happy to have you. I am Tracey Flintoff, and I am coming to you from Olympia, Washington, the great Northwest, with my buddy Cami Bretko here. So we're going to tag team this, and we're just so happy to have you. And what we're going to share tonight, we think is going to be highly valuable, and your future self is really going to thank you because our future selves, the selves we're living now, are so much happier for what this is. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to share my screen. And we have put together a little PowerPoint with some visuals to help you envision what we're talking about, because a picture is surely worth 1,000 words. And when we're talking about regenerative medicine, pictures are pretty powerful, but not as powerful as the actual patch. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the power of light, our own light, to help our body elevate, repair, regenerate, and restore with a new light technology. And what we're talking about is age reversal, and it's something you don't hear much about. You're going to hear a whole lot more about it in the future. And we're talking about a smart new technology that allows your body to repair itself. And there is a sad statistic out there, and none of us want to be a part of this statistic, but about 2/3 of our planet will end up perishing from something that was an avoidable disease. So we're going to make sure that none of us go down that path and defy those statistics. And we're going to talk about turning back the hands of time. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And we do have a disclaimer, because what we're talking about tonight is a holistic wellness product. That is the FDA's classification of this. If this were a medical device, you wouldn't be learning about this from Cami or I. You'd be learning about it from a doctor, and you'd probably be priced out of the market, and it would have come through a pharmaceutical rep. There are no pharmaceutical reps in this. This is a word of mouth thing in America, because sadly, our FDA doesn't allow the promotion of what we're talking about tonight. But we can share friend to friend. That's what we're doing, and we're very passionate about it. And when you see what this does, you're going to know why we're so passionate. But Cami and I are not medical professionals, and we will not be diagnosing, treating, or curing any medical condition. At the end, we will take questions and we'll help answer things and share our knowledge with you. But as always, you're going to work with your doctor on any issues you have, and what we're sharing tonight is purely for informational purposes. So what we're talking about is light, and light as a healing modality has been around for thousands of years, used way back in Grecian times. And you can see red light, infrared saunas, MRIs, very powerful for the body. So light, and why light, and why X39? X39 is the name of the most powerful and most celebrated patch that this company has. And it is non-transdermal, meaning nothing is going into the body. You're probably familiar with a nicotine patch or a hormone patch where things are going into the body and the bloodstream. This is 180 degrees off from that, nothing going into the body. There's no drugs, there's no chemicals, no stimulants. We are working with light, and the light is communicating with cells. That communication is very similar to how sunshine hits our skin and tells our body to start producing vitamin D3. So that is a light response in the body. These patches are operating the very same way, but our human body is the battery, and we are body heat activating these patches. So there's no dosages, there's no medication side effects. And what we're talking about is a patented form of phototherapy. So you see me with one right here. This is my glutathione. I know there's some COVID going around. So I know some people that have had colds. I don't want any of it. So I pop a little patch on here, and it really helps. So we put it on the body. And the X39 that we're talking about here in this slide, though, is actually raising a GHK copper peptide. That peptide when body heat activated, is reflecting your own low level light back into the body. You cannot see that light to the naked eye, but you can in a night vision goggle. We wear these for 12 hours on, 12 hours off, just like good old circadian rhythm of day and night. And then we repeat daily and drink a lot of water. Water is critically important to these. This is David Schmidt, our inventor. He has very, very smart man, and he has about 90 age reversal patents. And his most celebrated is this X39, because when you bring back the GHK copper peptide in our body, it's the holy grail of repair. And I'm going to show you why. What's happening in the body and why are people clamoring to get their hands on this? It's helpful to skin and hair. It's tightening that loose skin, that wrinkle look. It's smoothing that out. It helps with skin spots and does a lot of great things about healing. Very powerful for lung protection. It's, if anybody you know has COPD or has had COVID and lung issues, this is pretty powerful to help reverse that damage. In terms of brain and nerve, it is helping on so many levels. The neurons reconnecting. It's helping with against stress and anger. It's just giving a calming effect and really powerful for the spinal cord too, which we'll show in a minute. It's also anti-fast growing cells and very helpful in prevention, repair of the colon type of fast growing cell, helping with the programmed cell death. And then I love most that we're resetting about 84 of those genes to inhibit those fast growing cells from happening. So gene expression can be altered. So even if your DNA says, you know, such and such runs in your family, it doesn't have to be if you change the gene expression. That's powerful. That's huge in and of itself. But that's only one of many things that these are doing. These are also an antioxidant power in terms of blocking oxidization. So that's damage and that ugly rusty stuff that you might see on an apple that sits out in the air. But in case you don't know what a stem cell is, it really is the egg and sperm coming together, forming just one cell that becomes a growing baby in the womb. The head, the tissues, the lungs, all of that starts with a stem cell blueprint. And our body is very, very smart and designed to repair and regenerate. And by the time we are age 30 to 35, though, sadly, we have lost about half of those. And this chart here shows you the depiction of the decline. When we're a newborn baby, we are just full of these stem cells. When we're young kids, you know, you fall down, you scrape your knee, and 2 days later, it's gone. You break your arm, and really quickly, that repairs and regenerates. But as we age, we only have a small percentage of those stem cells repairing our body. So when you're 60, you have less than 10% left. When you're 80, we're down to about 2%. So it makes it really hard to repair and keep things at bay that we don't want to have happening in our body. But the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. That's the real thing about them. And you might have heard things in the media, maybe even some of your own friends talking about stem cell injections, because until this company, your only option to help your body regenerate and repair was going and getting a painful, ugly injection into a joint or a particular area of concern. And really, the very best stem cells, we are now required to leave our country and go and get them. They're called pluripotent, they're blank. They can become any cell the body needs. But the reality is when you are getting that injection, it's somebody else's DNA. It's expensive, very expensive. We're talking 10,000 up to 30. I've heard of $50,000 injections before, but they're not always effective. And there actually can even be some side effect ramifications that we often don't hear about. But what Cami and I are going to share with you tonight is the best way to get your own repair cells coming back to life and helping to prevent. And the best way to do that is by elevating your own GHK copper peptide. You might remember about 50 years ago, a lot of people started wearing those copper bracelets. It was because of this scientist's discovery, not our scientist, but the man who discovered GHK. And when we're using these patches to raise that GHK, we're using again that patented phototherapy patch. The body heat is activating that patch and it's reflecting our own low level light. But where we place these patches is based on Chinese acupressure points. And you can see the image here on the left of that body, these glowing spots. Those are energy meridians in the body. And it is all about moving energy, helping blocked energy. So blocked energy is pain. And when we get blockages and toxins built up, that is a real big problem, and that can create inflammation, which leads to disease. And the qi in Chinese medicine, they're all about moving that energy, unblocking that blocked energy. But this is a very dear friend of ours, Marcy Preble. And Marcy sadly was thinking she was at the end of her life with a diagnosis of 3 different fast-growing cells. She'd been through chemo and radiation. In 2019, she pretty much thought her life was over and done because she got a very aggressive skin variation of this fast-growing cell that she was told would never go into remission. The good news is her naturopath gave her 10 of these X39 patches. And the first couple days, the chemo taste came out through her mouth. She started detoxifying. Her skin became softer, more hydrated. And on day 10, she had a radical emotional shift. And she decided, you know what? I'm not letting this take me out. I'm going to fight this. And I am a believer in what this is. And if it works, I'm going to go tell the world. Well, she's making good on that promise. She has been in remission from all 3, the skin, the breast, and the lymph. And she is telling the world. And Cami and I are part of her team helping to tell the world. And she's the whole reason we're here tonight. If it were not for Marcy, you wouldn't be hearing about this because, again, this company, because of FDA regulations, isn't able to share. But this is my favorite part in our sharing tonight because you get to learn from other folks and hear what they have going on. So I'll tell you really quickly about my story. I had been going through a very horrible menopause, and it had taken my brain. I had such bad brain fog, and my hair was falling out. My hair was very thin. I had hot flashes. I slept in 2-hour increments, and 4 or 5 years of life like that is very, very hard and struggled. I really thought I had Alzheimer's. I thought I was headed for a home. And then when a friend who happens to be on this call, actually 2 of them, Bruce and Joyce, I'll be forever grateful to those 2. They didn't give these to me for me. They gave them to me for my husband, Eric, and his back pain. He had an amazing overnight response and it really reduced his pain. But for me, my brain came back really quickly. I started sleeping through the night. The hot flushes went away. And 6 weeks in, my hairstylist could not get over the new hair growth I had in all the balding spots that were on my head. She was like, whatever you're doing, I got to know, girl, because in 30 years of doing hair, I've never seen anybody's hair look like this at your age. And that's pretty exciting, pretty great. But I think we have got Carmen, if you'd like to unmute yourself and share your experience, just a real brief little sharing. We sure would appreciate that.
Well, I am always tired and I don't walk straight and I have joint issues. And I noticed about 10 days ago that I was moving a little bit easier and walking a little bit straighter and not quite as tired. I had more energy.
Excellent. We love that. And would you like to tell everyone what patches do you think have been helping most for that?
Um, the X39, um,
And then probably
I
the
was,
Aeon, the Aeon.
yes, Aeon.
Yeah, I know that's a big
Yes.
one with that inflammation, a game changer for sure. Ah, we're so thankful for your results, Carmen. And I know you're just getting started and just you wait. Give these time. And David says 1 month for every decade you are old for the X39 to really reach that deep repair. So wonderful.
How long
Thanks,
have you
Carmen.
been patching?
She said about 10 days.
10 days. Oh,
Yeah, fabulous. Okay. Thank you, Carmen, so much. Appreciate that. And then I think, do we have another testimonial lined up? No? Okay. I was thinking we had somebody else on here.
Joyce is probably available.
in there for a minute. We're ready to just cross the finish line.
I'm actually on, Tracy. I can make a quick testimonial. This is Jay.
Oh, Jay, we'd love that. Thank you. Wonderful.
Yeah. How are you? So my mom's 82 years old, has had 2 hip replacements and 1 knee replacement. She has not had a restful sleep for some time now. So something popped up on my screen. Sorry. So Cami went out, met with her. She's using the X39 Aeon and then also the Ice Waves. So she's been putting that on her knee. And the first night that Cami went out there, talked with her, went over everything with her. The following day, she called me and she said that's the first restful night she's had, and she doesn't know how long. So I went out there just yesterday, and she's had inflammation issues with her feet, and she's been using the X39 and the Aeon, and now her feet have gone down considerably. So yeah, she's going on, I think, a couple weeks now. I currently use them myself. In my family, Afro-American family, has been issues with high blood pressure traditionally. So I have about a couple months ago had my physical and then had a recheck, and my medication's been adjusted considerably. I'm on the path of getting off it. So that's definitely a positive for me.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful, Jay. Gosh, and we hear that so frequently with people being able to decrease their dosage. And that's one of the reasons we do tell you to work with your doctors too. You do really, especially if you're on blood sugar meds, or the blood pressure and the blood sugars, both of them, we do see a decline usually in the dosage and time. So that's a beautiful thing. As the body regenerates, things can really come back and change. So thank you
Yay.
both so very much. Appreciate you doing that. And then we'll just continue on, and Cami's going to put in chat a health tracker. It's something newer that we didn't have when we got started, and I sure wish I had it, because if I had written down all the things wrong with me, I would be even more impressed with these patches, because things go away when you're working at a cellular level, because it can be a little slower, because you're repairing them for good, not just masking them with something. And I failed to realize that my bunion, that was very painful from many years in ski boots and ice skates, that needed to be surgically removed, like the bunion on my right foot that I swore I'd never do again. But 9 months in, a friend asked me if these might help her bunion. And I said, my bunion? Oh my goodness. I used to have terrible pain every day. Gee, I don't have any more pain. I don't even know when that happened. It happens slowly and gradually. And that's the beauty of the body. It has the ability. So do use that health tracker. Highly encourage it. The other thing we highly encourage is that you go and visit this fantastic website that Marcy has spent her own money to develop for us. It's called startx39now.com. And there's so many good things on here. Excellent videos. The first couple videos are fabulous. They're really short, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, history of light, the stem cell race. And then there's this section about doctors, which I love. There's a cardiologist, there's an acupuncture doctor who explained to me the patches are really very similar to acupuncture. There's no needles, of course, with these, but it's moving energy. It's all about that. I love this science section. And if you have somebody in your circle who's, one of those clinical trial studiers, a doctor, somebody who loves the data, this is where you'd send them. 100 plus patents, 90 clinical trials. Some of these are published and peer reviewed, which is not easy to do. And to get those patents and all of that, your product really has to do what it says it does. And this obviously does to have those kinds of numbers. But I love the age reversal section here talking about the GHK, because it really goes into studies on different things like the cardiovascular study. And this study was 6 weeks long, people wearing X39. And what they noticed on average, they lowered their cardiovascular age by about 8 weeks. So if you do the math on that, that means your cardiovascular system is a day and a third younger for every day that you wear the patch. So, you know, start doing some math on that, and that really starts reversing your genetic age, biological age. It's pretty remarkable. Originally, these were developed for the US Navy SEALs 20 years ago. So this is not a new company, 20th anniversary this year. But word got out, and they ended up in the hands of a lot of celebrity athletes. Michael Phelps really put this company on the map when he won all those medals in Beijing. He was wearing these. Serena and Venus love them on their wrists. David Beckham wears them on his chest. But in 2019, history was really made when David Schmidt, our inventor and founder, for the first time ever figured out how to reactivate our repair cells. And he's just bringing them back to life. They basically burnt out like a little light bulb. So real quickly, I'm just going to show you some results of some folks we know. This ugly bruise here was my husband's surgery, and this was an overnight result for him, excuse me. You can see where the Aeon patch took out not only the inflammation, but the dead blood. That really creates that bruise. But look at that incision, how much smaller that was just overnight. And then this is Carla's dad here. If you can believe, the 92-year-old man is actually the youngest one of the two there. He looks fabulous. Psoriasis, that's just toxins coming out through the skin, and these help detoxify the body. And that's just a few weeks later. This lady is no longer living with that very painful, unsightly condition. And I love the guy over here on the right. He fell into a bee's nest. X39 and Aeon, this is 20 minutes later. Look at that difference. I'm going to go through these really quickly, just showing you accelerated wound healing with a snowboard accident, scar remodeling after an open heart surgery. The middle scar is Mother Nature's work. Scar on the far right, that is X39, bringing back that collagen, filling that in. This is bulging discs. So we talked about the spinal cord being supported. So what we're looking at here is a degenerative spinal cord, and you see those indentations. That's allowing a painful sensation there with that bone being able to touch. The actual bulging disc itself is between C7 and T1. You can see that black thing pushing into the disc. That is pain. This is the same patient. A few months later, that spinal cord completely regenerated and that disc back in position. This young lady had a spinal misalignment, and about a month later of using a combination of patches, that took care of itself, straightened back out. I love this one because we hear a lot about anti-aging. Cosmetic companies love that term. But what we're going for here is way better than anti-aging, because Grandpa Dude here would still look like Grandpa Dude if this were just anti-aging. But this is age reversal. This is our friend Dr. Harmon 14 months later. That's the power of age reversal. And Mandy over here starts out looking like Grandma, starts looking like the daughter, and then she looks like the granddaughter. I think she looks like she's in college. This lady's in her 60s, if you can believe it. But energy, vitality, everything about this lady is just screaming, I'm happier. I feel better. It's not just about appearance and looks. This is a happier lady, you can tell. Collagen and hyaluronic acid. We cannot underestimate the power of collagen. And there's so many solutions out there in powdered drinks, but bring it back your own. Nothing compares to your own collagen coming back. But check out the difference of the turkey neck here. That's 30 days. The varicose veins, of course, the veins are still there. They just get padded back in with the beautiful collagen that we had when we were younger. Remodeling of a birth defect here, quite a difference. And I like to say that these are better than Botox. You can use a combination of patches to really do anything, tighten up your skin. But look at this lady here with her décolleté. Somebody gave her the Alavita system along with X39 and the day and the night cream, and just a huge difference. Hormone rebalancing. This is 6 weeks for this lady to go from cystic hormonal acne, which I had all my whole adult and teenage life until these patches, really. But I love the guy's hair here. Check that out. That's 5 weeks. I think he's a happier guy. This guy, this is an autoimmune condition, and these are very supportive for a number of autoimmune things. And I know we've helped Hashimoto's and thyroid issues, my own thyroid, 4.5 months. I got to get off of my levothyroxine, but look at this guy. Look how different he is in 1 year when we get those toxins out of the body that are creating the autoimmune condition. This lady, I especially appreciate, she's gone through a painful radiation process. And look at her 3 weeks later. I mean, just beautiful. Not only is the scarring and the scabbing improved, she just looks better overall. And there's different systems for different issues with the body, bone on bone in the knees. We can use a combination of patches, also adding in the X39 in this system, and you can actually bring back the cartilage. Who knew that? I mean, pretty amazing. But I especially love this brain health image because this is a study they did with about 50 people looking at heat mapping EEGs of their brain. This particular woman is a 77-year-old woman with dementia. Her baseline is session 1, where you see the red and the orange. That is the inflammation or the heat in her brain. Where you have that, you have swelling. That puts pressure on blood vessels. She's not getting good blood flow. The blood brings the nutrients and the oxygen to the brain, right? So everything's working against her having a sharp brain. But what happens with the body is her first baseline her first session after using the patches for 3 weeks is a cold brain, no longer a hot brain. It's not a perfect brain yet, but the body is a work in process here. Session 3 is the culmination of that 6 weeks, and her memory, her focus, her cognition, and the coherence of those 2 hemispheres in her brain are perfectly balanced. That's a life changed, and she's pretty happy with them. But I love the fact that these aren't just for humans. We also have these for our pets. This was my own friend's dog, Brutus, arthritic black lab, 14 years old. And I said, Terry, don't put these in the garbage when you're done with your patch. Put him on Brutus's bed where he sleeps, or tape him on the inside of his collar, because I'm hearing all of these remarkable things for dogs and cats and horses, race horses. They regenerate, they come back, they start acting like puppies. And I've even heard of a dog in Japan that saw again after going blind. I didn't know Brutus was blind. This is a week later. He got his vision back, and we were both shocked and cried and started following her around the house. And that's a doggy life changed. So the last thing that really changed in our family was realizing the impact that this could have on the gut. And the gut cannot be underestimated because it's a direct correlation of what gets fed to our brain. So a lot of our brain issues reside really in the gut. So there is a system, you can use this for up to or beyond 18 days, really. Originally, we thought you could only use it 18 days, but I've now heard another doctor and you can go longer. But we're wearing 4 patches on our stomach, which you can see here, Aeon, an anti-inflammatory, SP6, balancing hormones and cravings through the brain, X39, regenerating with that GHK and the repair cells, and glutathione, which is a detox. So we are doing really great things here. And this I have to show you. I got to learn firsthand from my own bonus daughter last summer. She was very sick. She came to stay with me at our beach house. She kept throwing up. She thought she had the flu. This is her on our beach, not living her best life because she was an insomniac with anxiety and depression. And I said, you know what? I just learned from this doctor about these 4 patches on the stomach. I have them all here. Do you want to try them? The next day we put them on her. She stopped throwing up. She's really not gone back into that jag. It really wasn't the flu like she thought. It was GERD, if you're familiar with that. A very unhappy tummy. The first day she stops throwing up, and then we begin detoxifying her. 18 days later, she fit in these little skinny jeans and she lost 35 pounds. She's gone down now to lose 70 pounds, and she's quite a happy camper. But I'm going to switch spots with Cami and let her share high-level info on these actual specific patches.
Fun. Ooh, I've got the driver's seat now. So we spend a lot of time talking about our X39, and that is the flagship, the product, well, not the original product, but the company's been around for 20 years. And once this technology was created, they came out with different patches every few years that signal the body to create different peptides. All of these work the same way, signaling the body with light, reflecting your own body light as the source. And each one reflects light in different frequencies. And then the body sees that frequency of light and goes, oh, I'm going to make cool stuff. So the two patches that cause your body to make stem cells or repair cells are the X39 and X49. X49 is really good for your EMF protection. It also concentrates the stem cell activity on the brain and the heart and the muscles and the bones. But the X39 is the one that we recommend everybody use. That activates pluripotent cells. So those can become anything. Your retail for these for a month supply is $149. That sounds like a screaming deal to me when you're comparing it to thousands of dollars for a stem cell injection of somebody else's DNA, somebody else's, you're flying someplace else to get them, and you may or may not know how ethically they're sourced. And so this for me is less invasive and less cost all the way around. And why not? So we love to help people get wholesale pricing, and we'll go over that in a minute. But the wholesale pricing for these patches is $99 for a pack of 30. So that's a month's supply. We have other support patches in the line, and they all do different things. The main one that we start everybody on, in addition to the X39, would be the Aeon. The reason is that inflammation is the beginning of disease. And if we can dial down inflammation, we can reduce the effects of what you're currently dealing with, and we can possibly prevent things from happening if we can reduce inflammation. So this not only makes you more comfortable, but is what we call the Aeon and the X39 are like the dynamic duo. Stem cells do get burned out in inflammation. So when you can dial down inflammation naturally, then more stem cells get past the inflammation to actually go repair things. So like we said, that's pretty tremendous. And all the other patches we call support patches. Carnosine and glutathione cause your body to make different antioxidants. Carnosine supports the brain and the heart and blood sugar issues. Glutathione is a major detoxifier, super amazing. So Tracey mentioned that she's wearing one right now. If you feel like you've been on an airplane or been exposed to a lot of people, or you know that you need to detox, or you've been around somebody sick, or you're just feeling kind of poorly, like something might be coming on, that's tremendous. Ice Wave is helpful for acute pain. It's a 2-patch system. And when you find the right placement of those patches, you don't feel the pain as much or at all. It's pretty tremendous. The Energy Enhancer is also a 2-patch system. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is the technology that got this company started, created for the Navy SEALs. It does signal your cells, your mitochondria, to burn fat as fuel. And then you burn an extra 300 to 600 calories a day. Sign me up. So that's pretty tremendous. Silent Nights bumps up your body's ability to make melatonin. And SP6 does so many wonderful things. If you're having any issues with hormones or digestion or cravings of any types of substances, or cravings of sugars or anything, it can help reduce or eliminate those cravings as well. We haven't talked about aloe vera yet, but I'm sure that's coming up on another slide because it's one of my new favorites. So hold on. We'll talk about one more patch in a minute. The support patches all cost $79.95 retail. And then there's a little bit of a sliding scale when you buy them wholesale, but the lowest price for them wholesale is $49.95. And again, we'll show you how to get the wholesale pricing in just a second. Yay, Alavita. Okay, so if you, everybody has skin, right? So Alavita is, I'm studying Dr. Harmon's latest book about the Alavita. Well, it's not about Alavita, the patch, it's about epithalamine or epitalin. And the 50 years of research that this causes, this patch causes your body to make epithalamine. And it's really tremendous for your brain, for the frontal lobe of your brain, for balancing hormones, for cognition, for sleep, for skin, cartilage, and collagen, and longevity. So it's pretty tremendous. I have a new respect after starting Dr. Harmon's book and about the research behind what this causes your body to make. And the skincare, my goodness, this is like premium natural skincare that your body will, your skin will thank you for using this. It's pretty tremendous. There's also an eye cream that has copper peptides in it as well. It's amazing. So these patches go to work right away when you put them on your body. And we may not feel it. Some people do, some people don't. And I don't want to set you up for the idea that you are going to feel the cellular change right away. Some people don't, and that's okay. But 4,000 genes, that's about a fifth of our genome, turns to a younger state in the first 24 hours of wearing these patches. And these changes that are noted here are based on studies that have been done. So the biomarkers that Tracey was talking about, the brain health that Tracey was talking about, those were studies that were done, and it's noted and pretty remarkable what these things do. So we do recommend that you use these for a month for every decade you've been alive. So if you're 80, we recommend that you, a fair try is giving them a try for 8 months. So, so anyways, just thinking that they are going to work immediately is true, but you may not feel it. So here is how to get that wholesale pricing that we were talking about. Our favorite way to do it is purchasing a silver kit. This is a one-time thing that you can purchase. You don't have to spend this $2.99 a month. This is a way to get patches at wholesale pricing and try them out. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we help you build that pack. We tend to recommend in the silver kit that somebody get their X39 and either 4 Aeon packs so they can have that dynamic duo for 4 months. And then you would have just the X39 shipped to you for the next 3 months at that $100 price. And then you have the dynamic duo for 4 months. Or you could do the X39, the Aeon, and the Alavita kit is pretty tremendous too. So there's so many amazing ways to mix and match. And that's what Tracey and I, or the person who invited you here, is to help you build that pack so that it suits your needs and meets your goals. So the gold kit is great for 2 people wanting to try it, like a husband and wife. And then the diamond kit is really for someone who's all in and they want all the patches for their very large family, or they have a clinic or a med spa, and they want to provide this for their clients or customers. It's pretty tremendous. And the best deal out of all of the patches. You get about $1,900 worth of patches or more for $1,600. So it's pretty amazing. So this is where you get back to the person who invited you. We will stay on the call here to answer your questions. But if you're ready to purchase, then message the person who invited you and we can help. I'll put an order sheet in the chat and then you're off to the races. We do recommend that you at least try X39 and Aeon for about 90 days or 3 months to give it a fair shake. Yeah, this is something that you can keep coming back to and learning more, hearing more stories, and invite your friends. This is too cool to keep to yourself. Other ways that you can learn more about this technology is there's something going on almost every night of the week. So invite a friend to one of these events. You can scan the code, but if you're on your phone right now on the Zoom call, that's a little hard to do. But if you have a notepad, you can write down thepatchingpodcast.com. And that is how you get to this schedule, where if you were to click on one of these photos, those things, it'll take you right to the Zoom call at that time. And then Tracey and I do this every Tuesday night. And we are here at 6:30. We are soon, in the next couple of weeks, we will be shifting our schedule a little bit, because what we're finding is that lots of people want to help their clients sign up. And we're here, we're going to remain on the call to help you help your people. So we're going to shift the patch party from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then we will do the tech and consult from 7 to 7:30, right, Trace?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that slide is
So we're going to do from 6 to 7 and then 7 to 7:30, or, if people are still
the end
meeting.
time there. not the
Right,
beginning.
right. There's no break. One call is going to flow into the other. So you could join just for the Zoom call or the patching party, or if you're in conversation with somebody and you're like, I may need Tracey and Cami's help, and we are available to you, but also you could join in on that call. And so this is something we're very excited about. So this for me is a little bit of a dream come true. I am a life coach, and I'm all about helping people become well, mind, body, and soul. So if you are local to the Puget Sound area, we will be doing our very first health retreat. And this will be the first of many, and we will do some longer ones as well. But this is our first of several on Saturday, August 17th. And it will be during the day here in Olympia, and after party at here at Tracey's Beach House. So we'll be across the street at this beautiful event barn. They do weddings and other events there, and it's a lovely, peaceful setting. And then we'll walk across the street and come down here to the beach. So if you have any women in your life, or are a woman, please consider joining us. And it will be a fantastic evening. I'll drop the Eventbrite link in the chat as well.
Oh, good idea.
So we're just gotten out on this LifeWave thing. The company's been around for 20 years, but it is absolutely exponentially growing. So if this is something that you wanted to consider doing, I mean, for me, I can't not share it. It hurts my heart to see people walking around with aches and pains that could be avoidable, and things that the doctors say they're always going to have. That just gets me going, and I just cannot help but share with them an option that could be exactly what they're looking for. And often it is. So if this is something that you are thinking about, please ask either Tracey or I would be happy to share more about the business opportunity. But it is all around the world. We are in 81 countries now, I think, if South Korea is on here. So, and this is what we're working on being, so we want to live a long time, but we want to live a long time in our healthful, youthful, happy, pain-free state. So that's where we're headed. So I'm clicking on the stop share, Trace. I'm trying.
There we go.
Okay. Awesome. So let's switch seats again so that I can drop those things in the
Okay.
chat.
Perfect.
And now the time is to unmute and ask either one of us questions. Would be wonderful.
Yeah, and anybody have some questions that we can answer? And I know if you're seeing this for the first time, sometimes this seems a little too good to be true. I know Eric and I kept saying, how can this be? This just can't really be, but it really can be, thankfully.
Yeah.
So anybody have a question we can help with? Well, gosh, we must have done a really good job of explaining it then, huh?
I'm gonna I just dropped the order form in the chat.
Okay, Cami just gave you the wholesale order form,
And the Eventbrite link will come up in just a
and
second.
then she'll be giving you that Eventbrite link. And one fun thing that we're going to do at the culmination of that women's health retreat is we are doing a women's clothing swap. And you might wonder, why? How is that related to health? Well, clutter is clutter, not only in physical sense, but it can be of the mind. And letting go of things and releasing things can be very restorative, reparative, and just help give a clearer mind. So we thought it'd be really fun. Plus, who doesn't want to go shopping and not have to have money?
Free shopping.
Yeah, free shopping experience. And then whatever doesn't get claimed that day, we're going to donate that to the St. Francis House in Puyallup, a charity very near and dear to a lot of our hearts. And so if we can pass on some lovely treasures to somebody else, we'd love to do that. So we're just all about making people's lives better, be it through, many different channels. Patches, our favorite way of doing that, of course. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
Carmen,
do have
did you
a quick question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Sometimes it gets confusing which patches you should wear. Is there a limit to the amount of patches you should use and not extend over a certain amount?
The nice thing about it, because these are just signaling the body and the body is really making the changes, your body is inherently very intelligent and it will do what it's going to do with what it needs. So there is no limit. I do believe David Schmidt says he wears about 12 patches a day. Sometimes he's got new prototypes on that he's testing out before they get to market. I myself today, I think I've got 4 on. And I have certain ones that I do a rotation of. So like a glutathione and a carnosine, those are very strong patches that you don't need to wear every day. And when we start out with glutathione, that's the real one that we really want to gingerly start with. Phase that in slowly. Don't start on day 1 with that one. X39 is going to raise your own glutathione about 30%, but there are some that are on a rotation basis. Now that Alavita that Cami's talking about, they call that now the trophy wife patch.
Yes.
Women who used to go get facelifts are now doing it with these patches, but I love it. I sleep with it here every night and I will until the day I die because I have the most amazing dreams. I sleep deeply. That's when our body repairs, is in rest and restoration phase. And so sleep is critically important. And I'll always use that one. And I can't say enough good about it. But yeah, there's different patches for different needs, but no limit. Just see what works for you. Yeah. Any other questions? Comments? Joyce. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Hen. Hey, Tracy, would you go over just a couple different ways that people can use the ice wave patch?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So Ice Wave is working on polarity in your body. So think of a car battery or even just a regular battery. You have a positive charge and a negative charge, right? So with that Ice Wave patch, there's a tan color, and that's the negative. And for most of our pain points, we're going to anchor where your pain is the worst. Say it's in the middle of your back. We're going to put that tan on the worst pain point. The white patch is the positive charge. And when you put a positive and a negative, they repel each other, right? That's what it's doing with that pain messaging. They're repelling. Oh, thank you, Cami. So say this is our pain point. Then if that pain is radiating in a direction, maybe it's going down, then we'll go about 2 inches below. And I only take half of the backing off. So these have a little split in the back, so that you can leave the other half on. So it will still be sticky when you find the sweet spot. But say we're starting here. In about a minute or two, provided you're well hydrated, and do drink a big glass of water before you even attempt putting these on. If you don't get relief right away, then let's try another spot. So that I call 6 o'clock. This is the center of a clock. So think of noon, 3, 6, 9. One of those 4 quadrants should break that nerve pain communication. If that isn't working for you, you might need to put these on the bottom of your feet. A lot of our MS patients, rheumatoid arthritis, where they've got all over body pain, it's more general pain. We put them on the bottom of the feet. White is always going to go on the right side of the body. And then tan will always go on the left. You put that on the fatty pad part of your foot. And if that isn't enough, and you've got some big gun pain, then you might need to add another set up here. Some of our MS patients use 2 sets. They call this bookending. So they're going bottom of the feet and up here on the chest, and that's blocking all that nerve pain communication in between these patches. There is also a protocol, like say for knee pain. Just always remember white on right. Think of white on rice, right? The right side of your knee is going to be the white. The left side of your knee would be the tan, and that should block that nerve pain communication. Try not to put these where you're bending, by the way, but there's no wrong place on the body to put any of these. Just want you to know with all these patches, no wrong place other than leaving them in the package and not putting them on. You got to put them on the body. But hopefully that helps answer the question, Joyce.
Did you go over how, like, when you're radiating, like I put the white patch after I place the tan patch, put the white patch. I ask them, where's the pain radiating?
Yeah, if it's rating down or sideways.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
That's where, if wherever their finger points, I try that first, even if it's feet away.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I did mention
Okay.
that radiation. So this Ice Wave is what made my husband, who's the absolute cynical skeptic in the world. And when Bruce put these on him with Joyce on the phone, helping direct us, in 1 minute, he just couldn't believe it. And he kept trying to recreate the pain, and he's bending over, then he's running up and down the hallway, then he's doing jumping jacks and all sorts of crazy things. He could not make his body have back pain when he had these on. These are amazing. The thing to think about with this is polarity. This is not cellular healing. So this is a different technology than like X39 and Aeon. Those are the 2 that we would use with pain to get that cellular repair at a deep root level. So this is just helping your body relax so we can get blood flow going, and the other patches can do their job. But do use your restorative reparative patches along with them. Any other questions?
We have one in the chat. And I'm
Oh,
responding
okay.
to-
Tracy,
Yes.
hi.
Hi, Sandy.
I would like to introduce you to Janet.
Hi, Janet. I owe you a phone call. I haven't been able to call you. I've been being a nurse here lately, but lovely to get to see your face and meet you. So
Thank
happy to
you.
have
Nice
you.
to meet you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
I haven't started
brand
yet.
new.
My package will be here tomorrow, so I'm
Oh,
listening. I don't
wonderful.
have questions yet because I haven't started. So
Oh,
tomorrow will
good.
be my first day.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, that first day, really drink extra water. Even if you think you're a terrific water consumer, you need to give your
Mhm.
body more than it's used to, because you
Okay.
are going to be needing water to create these new cells But as those new cells lay on old tissue, the old tissue becomes toxin and we got to flush it out of the body. And water's what does that. So water
Okay.
is so important with this. Yeah.
Okay,
But so
Okay.
happy to have you joining us.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Oh, Carmen. Yeah.
I have one more question. I have a friend who had on her wrist surgery due to repetitive action from her job. And they tried to stay away from this one nerve that gets angry. Well, that nerve is angry. And I gave her the ice patches, and she said they didn't work, but I don't think she did it right.
There's lots of ways to not.
Yeah.
Ice wave, right?
Yeah, it is tricky. It is something that requires a lot of patience, and that's why we like to keep half of that sticky backing on there so we can move them around till we find that sweet spot. But if she's not hydrated and she's dehydrated, then that's often why they don't work. So I would have her try it again, but with that angry nerve, that Aeon patch, getting that inflammation out can be a huge game changer right there. So the X39 and the Aeon can do wonders for these kind of angry nerves and help
Okay.
repair that. But if that happens to be that that tunneling condition, I have a number of testimonies. We have a number of testimonies in our Telegram where people have been able to avoid surgeries with the patches to help regenerate and repair that condition. So just telling you what I've heard of other people. I'm not making any sort of medical claims or anything here. Just sharing what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please, Catherine.
What happens if you accidentally leave the patch on for more than 12 hours?
Here is the beautiful thing. Our bodies are very smart and intelligent, and nothing bad is going to happen to you. It'll never hurt you. But you don't want to do that routinely because that is like laying out in the sun for days on end. That's just not good for our body. That's just too much, right? So that signal will stop working with the body. So you'd want to skip that particular patch for 24 hours, let your body reset, and then come back and use it again for another 12-hour session, and it'll start going back to work. It's a pretty amazing system. The body is. Whoever
Okay,
that
thanks.
designer is needs, some really big accolades and awards.
That's pretty good.
The one and only God.
Yeah.
Pretty smart dude. Yeah, for sure. Okay, any other questions? Okay. And we hope that this was helpful to you. And if you'd like to get back with the person who invited you, if they are unable to help you, please do reach out to Cami or I. They'll know how to get a hold of us, I'm sure. And it's always our pleasure and our passion. We just feel so blessed to have this technology. And it's a shame that in our country, it's not embraced and not as well known as it is in Europe and Asia. They don't have an FDA. They are able to use modalities that really do help work on health and healing and prevention in our country. It's just a little different. And so we're trying to do our part, and hopefully you'll help join our team to, patch up the world. We want to see everybody feeling great and living their best life. Life's too short not to. Okay, everybody. We may and may not be here next Tuesday. We have a very large event. Cami and I both are attending. It's a fundraiser for a beautiful organization we're both very committed to. It's called Liberty Road Foundation. It's a Christian organization supporting 9 charities here in Puget Sound. So if you don't see us next week, we will communicate with you, let you know. You'll know we are not playing hooky and, out at some crazy bar dancing or something.
No.
We are raising money for a really great cause. But we will keep you posted, okay? And for sure, the following week we'll be back, though.
Yeah, we are looking for we might possibly have a co-host from Hawaii next week. So you may get to see this party in a whole new light.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see
It's-
if we
it's
can
fun.
bring some aloha to this party.
Yeah. Or if one of you would, like to help, let us know. We're always looking for testimonials too. And if ever you have a friend that has a great one, text us and say, hey,
Yeah.
my friend would love to share, because we're always looking. We appreciate that. And okay, I think we're coming up on our hour mark. Look at that. We
Look at
actually ended early. Holy cow. High five.
Bye, Tracy.
Okay,
Bye,
guys.
Cami. Good
night.
job.
Thank you
Good
all.
job. Bye, Janet.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Good
Bye-bye.
night, everyone.
Good night.